I got a new Kontakt bank and a new plugin for y'all, so y'all make sure to watch till the end. And if you want to know how Atljacob makes crazy samples and beats on the cello future, this is the perfect video for you. What's up, welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how Atljacob makes crazy beats and samples in the cello future from scratch, which y'all probably don't know yet, but it's really good, so y'all make sure to keep watching. And I'm going to show you a really good plugin to have like good bass sounds and good lead sounds. It's both something synth like sounding, I would say. Y'all have already heard the sample. It's a very ambient sample, but I really like it, and I would say it fits future. So first of all, since y'all have already heard the sample, I'll break down the whole like process of how I made the sample and break down each individual sound, and then show you how I mix them. And then at the end of the sample breakdown, I will show you my mastering chain, and then after that I will show you how I made a crazy beat to it, which y'all have already heard. So make sure to keep watching till the end. And I have some great news for y'all. I don't have the cover yet, I'm waiting on the cover, but I will be dropping a new multi-kit really soon. It's called Vital Multi-Kit, and y'all stay tuned for this kit. It's a really good kit. It has one-shots, phrases, live guitar phrases, textures, percussion loops, and everything else that you need to have to level up as a music producer to make good samples. And if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to this channel. And please don't forget to leave a comment on what y'all think of the sample and of the new Kontakt bank and of this plugin, which I'm about to show y'all. And I don't want to make the intro too long, so yeah guys, let's go. So I started off with this Prophet 5, I think it's from Arturia, and as you can see I used this 11 brass preset and I tweaked it a little bit. I think I played just with the attack and the decay and the release, and as you can see I just laid down these simple chords at first, but I changed it up a little bit, which you can see right here. I basically just arpeggiated them chords to make it have more movement in this whole sample. I randomized the velocities, and that's basically all I did. It's a very simple chord progression. I went from this F to an G to an G sharp and then to an F chord again, and then it repeats the whole time. And as you can see I have a little switch up right here where I just have these chords, so it basically gets like slowed down, not that fast for this section right here. And the finished Prophet brass pattern is sounding like this. And for the effects on this Prophet, I have this Valhalla vintage verb right here, and I tweaked the mix, the decay, and the low cut. I left the pre-delay on 20 milliseconds because I just liked how it sounded. Then I had the simple soothe on its hard setting and the depth to 4.4. And this EQ where I just cut out some of the lows, ducked some of the mids and some of the highs. And that's really all I have on there because I just wanted to clean the sound up a little bit and to give it some more space. And that's what I achieved with this effect chain because I didn't want it to sound over-processed. For the next thing, as you can see right here, I have this synth one-shot ARP sweep from Splice. And I pitched it up by 7 to bring it into key. Had the volume to about 50%, the mode to stretch, and the declicker mode on transient. And I'm gonna show y'all the effect chain right before I show y'all the sound. I have this Valhalla vintage verb on there with these settings right here. This fruity delay with these settings, just that it like fades out, I would say. And this EQ just to cut out a lot of the low mids, and some of the highs. I had it 31% in mono as well. And then I had this thing right here on the same mixer track. I just pitched it up by 12 and pitched it up by 1, so basically pitched it up by 13. I had the mode to stretch, a declicker mode to generic, the volume to 56%, and as you can see I reversed it just to fade in into the second part of the sample, because as you can see there's a really fast ARP, but I'm gonna show you this Kontakt bank and like the patterns in a second. And as you can see I basically rendered this thing out with a lot of reverb on it and then reversed it to give it like a fade in effect. And I have this automation right here, just that the delay cuts in like a little bit later because it would have been too much right away, but like as I said, just to make it like fade out a little bit more. And the two ARPs, or like the two synth sounds from Splice, are sounding like this. And then for the vocals, since I can't really sing, I went to Splice again and I picked this vocal right here. It was already in key, so I just pitched it up by 12 and put the mode to stretch, the declicker mode to generic, and the channel volume to 41%. And I have this phrase right here, which I just pitched up by 12 again, put the channel volume to 47%, the declicker mode to generic, the mode to stretch. And for this part I reversed it just that it fades in a little bit more. Then I have basically just this. It's the same vocal but just like not reversed. And these two fit perfectly for the sample, and I'm going to show you all the effects right away. I have this for the delay 2 on there. Then this for the reverb 2 from FL Studio, where I basically just played with the wet knob. With the DK I turned the bass multiplier to 20%, so basically to nothing, and the stereo separation to 44%. Then this simple soothe on its default settings, I just removed this knob right here. Then this EQ just to cut out some of the lows and some of the low mids and some of the highs, and I had it 12% in stereo, and the finished vocals are sounding like this. And now for the Kontakt bank y'all have been waiting for. I have this Kontakt bank right here, which is called Monomy. And as you can see right here, you have a lot of different presets to choose from. It has like a really nice analog sound and sometimes like a muddy sound, but not like that it hurts your ears or something, but like just this like crisp vintage sound, I would say. And as you can see, I have this lead pattern right here for the first part. I'm gonna show you all the ARP for the second part in a second. And yeah, I have this lead pattern right here, which is pretty simple. It gets like a little bit busier at the end because I just wanted like a transition sound into the ARP thing again. And I have this filler note right here that it goes from this G sharp to a D sharp again, but just really quick, so it sounds like I like actually played it. I randomized the velocities, and as you can see with this Kontakt bank, you have a lot of different options to choose from. You can play with the attack, hold, decay, sustain, release, the source obviously with the space, and with the arpeggiator. The arpeggiator tool is really cool, and you can even turn, I think that's like the whole mix, the modulation thing. You can turn it on and turn it off. Like you can just do whatever you want with this plugin or like with this Kontakt bank. It's a really nice Kontakt bank. And by the way, I used the God's Glory preset, and if y'all want to get this Kontakt bank, make sure to check out the link in the description. I don't get money to say this, but it's like a really good Kontakt bank. I saw it on an Instagram ad and I thought I would hit them up, and they sent me this Kontakt bank. Otherwise I would have bought it because it's so good. And I don't want to talk too much, but the Kontakt bank or like the lead pattern is sounding like this. And for the effects on the sleep pattern, I have this RC20 with these settings right here. Then this fresh air with the mid-air to 19% and the high to 32%. Then this Valhalla vintage web where I tweaked the mix, the decay and the low cut. This Soothe on its default settings, but I think I turned the knob from 3 to 2 on the depth. Then this Simply EQ just to cut out some of the lows, and I added 27% in stereo. And now for the most important part, or like most interesting part for this sample, I have this Yesteryears preset for Monomy again. And as you can see, these are my settings right here for this preset, or basically I think it's a default preset. I just played with the space a little bit, and as you can see, I have this ARP right here, which goes from G to C and then goes up from D sharp to C again, or like basically to D sharp but then to C. And I just copied it over because it sounded really good and really nice for this type of sample, and the finished ARP is sounding like this. And as you can see, for the effects, I just cut out a lot of the lows and low mids, and that's really all I did for this preset. I just turned down the volume obviously just to level it. And now I'm gonna go to the bass line, and for the bass line I have another new plugin for y'all, which is called Mariana, and I use the classic square bass, which is a really nice preset for these type of samples. And as you can see, the bass line is like a little bit more complex. I went from an F with like a little stutter note to an F again, then to an G, and then I just basically arpeggiated it up and went to a lower G sharp, then to this G, then to an G sharp again, to an F, and then from this G sharp to an G to an F, but like an higher F. Just that it has like a lot of variation and it really sounds cool, and the finished bass line is sounding like this. And for the effects on this bass line, I have this simple Soothe on the hard setting and the depth to 9.1. Then this arc compressor with these settings right here. This decapitator on its default preset, I just played with the drive, the tone and the style. Then this fully parametric EQ just to cut out some of the muddy frequencies. And this EQ where basically just cut out some of the highs, some like a little bit less of the mids, like just a tiny bit of the low mids. And I cut out like the muddy lows, and I added 100% in mono. And for the switcher part, as I already told y'all, I just have these simple chords, which was the ARP from the beginning, and the effects are just the same. This Valhalla vintage verb, this simple Soothe, and this simple EQ. And for the first thing on my master, I have this Every Road vinyl stereo with this preset right here, which I can't pronounce, and I turned on the noise, the crackle and the clicks. Then this RC20 with the Luca Could Be a Pet preset, I just turned down the space and the digital. Then this L1 limiter stereo, which is basically just set to make the sample louder but to limit it to a certain dB. Then this sound shifter pitch stereo from Waves, where I basically just pitched everything down by 1. This hyper chorus on its default settings, I just had the mix to, I think it was 8% wet. Then this simple EQ just to duck some of the lows, and this simple Soothe just to clean up the sample a little bit more. And now I'm going to show you all the sample with and without the mastering chain. So first of all, this is the sample without the mastering chain. So for the beat breakdown, I obviously just dragged in the sample first, and I put the mode to stretch, the declicker mode to generic, and I pitch it down by 2 just because, as you can see, the root notes of the sample would be D then and like go up to an F, and that's just personal preference because I really like the D note on the Spins 808. I will start with the hide pattern. So as you can see, this is the hide pattern right here. I have a really long roll at the beginning, and then like just some like shorter notes, like shorter rolls, and some lower notes just to give the beat more bounce. And first of all, the hide pattern alone is sounding like this. Then after that, I have this Luca late night clap, and the pattern is pretty self-explanatory because I just have the default clap pattern right here, and the clap pattern is sounding like this. Then I have this Luca Atljacob snare out of the Starstruck multi-kit, and it's really simple. Again, it's just this roll, then this normal note, and then these rolls right here just to like fade into the other 4 bars, and the same thing right here, but the rolls are reversed, and this pattern is sounding like this. Then I have this reversed open head, this Rex added open head, and this wrapped open head out of the Starstruck multi-kit. And I'm gonna show y'all these 3 patterns together, and these 3 together are sounding like this. Then, for the best part of this beat, I have this 808 pattern with the Spins 808, and as you can see, it's a really simple pattern which basically just goes from a D to an F, or like from a D to an E, then to an F, and then to an D again. And then I just have this low B note right here to like transition to the other part again. And that's really all I did. Just increase the volume, which you can do with like selecting all and then pressing Alt and the mouse wheel, as you can see right here. And that's all I did for this beat. I just added my tag and have this little intro right here, and I'm gonna play all the beat, and the finished beat with the 808 and everything else is sounding like this. So yeah guys, if you had enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, make sure to leave a comment on what y'all think of the sample and what y'all think of the new plugin and the new Kontakt bank I just showed y'all. And by the way, link for Monomy for the Kontakt bank is in the description. I think it's on a sale right now, so make sure to grab it while it's on sale. It's 100% worth getting, and I would really appreciate if y'all just check it out. Same as my kit store, which is called Lucaland. The link for that is in the description as well. And I have a discount code for y'all, which is right by the link. I would really appreciate if y'all check it out. And if you want to get a kit, use the discount code. And thank y'all so much for watching till the end. That really means a lot to me, and I hope I could show y'all something new today. And I don't want to keep the outro too long. There will be a new video every Sunday from now on. And with that being said, thank y'all for watching and for supporting me. And yeah guys, see y'all next Sunday.